It is May 6, 2022, and it's it. I tell you, I have said it before. I repeat many things because I know that some people doesn't listen at all episodes I have recording, so they have not heard it. So I'm talking about time, that what is said, much of what is said about, if I count it, like 90% of what is talking here on my podcast is without any time limit. It's for every time, even if you coming here 2024 year 2024, you should get it for your time when you listen those messages, and much is learning about what's in heaven and who they are that is coming here and talking, that you should know that I am very close to heaven and I am up to heaven sometimes. It have happened here in my recording that I enter into heaven and coming back for to close the episode. I have my neighbors upstairs. They have very often, almost every weekend, they have other children coming and visit them. They have 3 kids under 7 years of age, and then they have relatives that is coming with kids also, so it can be very much sounds in my recording. But you should know it's not, I don't have anyone in my room, my home here. It's my neighbors you hear. It's very loudly here, and they are from Iraq, this family that's living upstairs, so they are not this silence. Mostly the Swedish people are more not jumping in the floor and tell the kids to not screaming and those things, but they are from another culture, so it can happen that they are jumping in the floor and screaming when I'm recording, and I hope it doesn't disturb the spirits that coming inside me and is visiting me of these disturbing things. I had to close my first recording here because the kids, my neighbor's kids was close into my garden, and I have flowers growing, and I don't want them to pick my flowers, so I had to stop and show them that I was here, that I was at home, and now I had to start over with my recording. And today it was on Facebook. Someone have a link for YouTube, and I am happy that I seldom go with the links because it can be some hackers want me to go with a link, but I did that. I felt that I should do it because it was a rabbi. It was only 7 minutes YouTube video, and it was about who is Messiah. And this was a Jewish rabbi, of course, and he talking like they see it in Torah, and they are not into any spirit. The Jewish tradition, they want to count the words, and in the counting of the words they think they can see God in it. And I know very well about this, that because my daughter's father, he is not Jewish, but he want to know. He don't accept any spirit things. He don't accept that there is things that we don't understand. We can't understand it because our brain is limit, and so we don't really understand, and we have to have faith. We have to trust that what we hear and see is true, because there is things we can't count. We can't understand it. So if we should go with the Jewish tradition, they sit and count out words, words by words. I think even letters they counting out to see God in it. And of course you can see some, if you want to see it, you see it, that literally what's going on in the world, that's what they want to see, and they want to have the facts. But with the facts they accept what the Torah is telling them, and that is not facts, because that's is interpret. It's interpret of man, of how to read the Torah and to understand Torah. It is a scroll they look at, and there is words, but when you read a book, for example, that one person can see things in that book that the other doesn't see, and so that it's not facts, because that must be really gluing into the floor, into the stone, really, in I don't know what is in English, but in events, it's the word must go together with other words for to make sense. We can't take one word and then think it's you understand everything. It happen when God is talking. God is, when he talking to me in the air, he only need to say one word, and and it means so many things, but not in the books. That's standing stable. It is glue in there, and then it's up to those men to interpret. And the brain, it's sometimes our brain is the enemy for us, because they the people that interpret, they can't close their brain from it. So solely it's going with what the brain is telling them, that what they have experienced in life, their own story, that we need to go away from it as much as we can. And I try to do it, but sometimes I go with my brain and it tells me something, and it maybe is wrong. It's very hard to only focus on that word you hear, or what going on in a book, and not go with your brain. You know it. And he had, I wrote it up, what he was saying, the rabbi, in the video. And the Jews react Jesus to be Messiah, and that I can accept. That's okay for me, because I know Jesus is in the garden in heaven. He don't, he am not target our planet anymore. He is coming and talking to me. That have nothing with the whole world to do. And he is a spirit of like everyone else that is coming through. But I have been up to heaven, and I saw the first time I was up in heaven, really up in heaven, when I was hypnotized of a man that really are a true hypnotizer, and he have education in psychology, and he is a Buddhist, so he didn't have the same picture like me. So, and in hypnosis, I go away from him and have my own experience of heaven. And the first time I was in heaven, the first I met was Jesus, and he was walking around in a garden and took care of a garden. And on the right side from Jesus in the garden, there was a white cloud, a big white cloud. And in that cloud was it these 6 higher priests inside that cloud. Those that they look almost the same, with white hair and white beard and white clothes. And they took me into the cloud, and I went really into heaven. And then I come in there, and I come into God's throne room. And you can listen at it. It's I don't know what the title is, but it's about, I was hypnosis in 2018, I think it says, and come to heaven. And you can listen at that episode. So what the rabbi was talking about was that Jesus didn't do all this prophecy that is in the Bible or in the Torah, and that the Messiah will come when everyone is the gathering together, that all Israel's people, like this is what the rabbi is saying, that Israel's people are coming together in Israel, and you know that that is not my experience, because God have told me that I don't need to live in Israel. He have said that to me, because God will find me wherever I am. So that doesn't matter. That literally that we should live in Israel, that's a lie. That's a wrong interpretation of those Jewish men or other men that think they know everything, and the proud men. And so the gathering together Israel's people is that we're like recognize each other, and the spirits coming here that belong to Israel also, so they gathering in my home here. So it's not literally, it's a spirit thing. They have so very wrong. And then in Jesus' time, the temple was there. It had not been destroyed. It because it says in the prophecy that the temple should have been destroyed and then been rebuilt when Messiah is coming. So that it was standing. Jesus saw the temple, and so the temple is not rebuilt yet, and they are talking about to rebuild the temple, but they have not done it yet. Maybe they have some start of it, the project, and then when Messiah is coming, it's very strange for me, this prophecy, because it says it should be peace all over the world when Messiah is coming. So why does he come then, Messiah? It's not to create peace, because it should be peace already before he's coming. And I tell you the answer later on about Messiah, how I see it. I maybe have wrong, but I tell you my opinion about it, how God have educated me, and that also that the Jewish people are going to follow the Torah. All Jewish people is going to follow Torah, but they are not follow Torah, everyone. There is people born Jewish, but they are Christianity or other religion, so they are not follow Torah. And then all will serve and acknowledge God, and that we know that there is not. So that's not time for Messiah to come then. And then also that Messiah should come from the tribe of Judah, and it should be father to son from David and Solomon lineage. And this is the proud of men that saying this, that the father to son can't be a father to daughter, so it can't be. And then the Messiah, I will tell you my answer about who is Messiah. You are. You are Messiah, because I have told you that, and the spirits have told us in some episodes that they are waiting for us here on earth to make it happen, so they can come down. Heaven will come down to earth when we start to want to have peace all over the world, when we want to be together with people of the same sort of belief, not believe that we know God, and it's we build together the temple, together in a union. It's nothing that have with what is in the world, what is written in books. It's not literally. It's a spirit thing. You know, God's spirit was flying over this planet, and he make the light coming down to this dark, evil planet, and make it so some people of him, his children, was born, sent here. They were not born here on earth. They were sent from God to be the light of this world. But today they start to disappear, and we need to build it up again. And we need to be down on our knees and bow down to God and tell God that we need him to come down and help us to change the world. But we need to act first. They don't do. If we take one step for heaven to come down, they take 2 steps down to earth. So that's a relationship between us and heaven. And so it's not what we see here on earth. It's a spirit thing. Messiah is the relationship between us and heaven. That is Messiah. That line, the silver cord we have with heaven, that's the Messiah. So Messiah is not the person. The Messiah is how we act, how much we want to have heaven to come down to this planet, and not only ask God to do things for us. Each person wants so very much from God, when we have to do our part first for to get it, for the heaven to come down. We need to do what is in God's will, and that's why I have heaven coming down to my home and not to the earth, because I have done everything what God have told me to do, and I have done it without knowing what will be. Why should I do this? I have not asked him why. I have only done it, what he have told me to do. And I have not wanted to go to visit Israel 3 times. That is God that have told me that I should visit Israel. I have not wanted to be out in Africa in a poor forest, a small village where we have no electricity, no lights, no water to drink, nothing. And the door was open so everyone could come in, and they stole from me also in those small houses without doors. And I was freezing, and we ate, when we didn't have money, we eat grass to fill the stomach. That was not in my will. That I did what God told me I should do, and it was in last time I was in United States. That was God that wanted me to go to fly to Salt Lake City, and I was in Utah, United States, and I was not feeling me very well, and it was a long flight from Copenhagen to Toronto in Canada, and then to Chicago, and then down to Salt Lake City. There was a long trip, and I was not feeling well when I did it, but I could make it because I knew that was in God's will, and I have done everything in God's will from that day when God come down into my home in year 2000 and stopped me from making suicide. He took me out to walk homeless in the United States, and I was very much into that people wanted to kill me, and they robbed me and they raped me, but they couldn't kill me. It's like people say, you are walking like a Job, but it was worse because Job had friends, and there was people around him to help him, but I didn't have anything. But it was kind of that the devil couldn't kill me. He could do everything, and he did to me. But I survived. I was very sick mentally when I come back. I have this post-traumatic disease, but I wrote me out from it. I wrote very much, and people was angry. Why do you write these things? First it was MySpace, that was before Facebook, and then I come to Facebook and I wrote down everything, and I was singing karaoke to take away depression, and I be okay. And in 2015, when I got first got the injection against my psoriasis. Then in the same year I got a home. I was not homeless anymore, and I got a lease on an apartment. And it's turn around when I have not need to be scared to be homeless again. I had my home that I was longing for so much. So it didn't come immediately that I be in good health mentally before. It's coming better, be better. And today I say I'm free from it. I have my best time today. I don't want to go back to where I was. If I should go back to the same situation I was in the past, I should never want to go back. I don't want to go back there. I'm so happy to be free from everything. I am retired because of age, and we got money here in Sweden to could live a comfort life. And I have got the garden in my home. I love to do gardening, and I call the garden Jesus' garden because that's what I saw. I met Jesus in the garden in heaven. So this garden I got for, is it 2 years ago? It was when the pandemic started, to 2020, in February 2020. I got this. It's an apartment, but it's on the ground, and I can go directly, immediately out in the garden. There is no stairs because I have been disabled after the car drove over me, so I can't walk in stairs up and down. My brain be confused over the level of it. I can't be on anything that is up a little in there. So I got this. I was so blessed when I got this apartment, and I have find out solution for my neighbors that is jumping in the floor and screaming over me. I have had speakers. I have in my ears stop. I don't have anyone that call me, and I don't have anyone that call me on knock on the door. So I don't need to hear anything. So I stop from hearing when I need to relax or take a nap. I have in my ears I have stop, and then I have a cap with music inside the cap, and I had it over my head and over my eyes, so I am in a darkness and only laying there and listen at music, and I fall to sleep in that way, and I don't hear anything. It have been people knocking on my door, and they have told me, but I say it was my nap time. and I don't hear anything when I take a nap, and that's true. So I have found out the solution how to do it, and the music in my ears doesn't stop me from fall to sleep. It's the opposite, because I love music. So that what I wanted to talk about. The subject was Messiah. Who is Messiah? That's you. That's me. I have already got it. I have already got it because I have done God's will. And that's what I'm telling you, that you can have heaven coming down into your home if you really do God's will and not your own will, and not ask God to do everything for you. That God give you what you need if you are one of his children. He do that. If you do your part, God is doing his part. That's the covenant, the promise you have in your life between God and you, the covenant you have. It's a spirit covenant. It's not literally like the Jewish tradition people think it is. It's not literary, it's spirit. So God bless you. And I hope you will get the answer for your life that you deserve to get, because you come from heaven. You were placed here on earth, and they waiting for you to come back to heaven. And we can do it without leaving this planet. We can be in heaven whenever we want it to be, and we can also, and we know it, that we have our family in heaven coming down to us and talk to us. We are not lonely. We are never lonely. That you should know, that you that feel like no one care about you. You have a family, but you need to pull them to you by the way you live your life. You can't make drugs. You can't be in a party drinking and get headache after like that and think that heaven want to talk to you. Heaven may be coming down and talk to you about what you are doing and tell you to stop to do it. But you can never get a real relationship with heaven if you live more in the world than you are living in heaven. What the heaven will, what's God's will, what is God's will, you have to ask yourself. If you want your party style and have a limit time here on earth, or if you want to really enjoy God's creation, and God's creation, it's not on the nightclubs, it's not drinking, it's something bigger that you have not find them just now, but you can find it. If you really want to change your life, you will find it. You are strong inside you. You are a victory in God. You're not the victor of the devil. And what you have had in your past is gone, because we know your future. Now it's the Spirit talking. When he say that, it was not me. He said, we know your future. It's a spirit there. It's very much strong spirit. That's why I say this. You are strong, because the spirit say that to me, and he's fun because he's showing this arm, strong arm. He's showing this, that you are strong. And he say that I am with you. And I don't know who he's talking about, but you are here, listen. And he tell you that he say, we are going to make it. He say, that's a real promise. What a wonderful spirit that come through here. He's very powerful, as I say, and he say that he's coming with you. He's not going up to heaven. He's coming to you, and bring you to that plan God had for you from the start, when the devil mess up the plan for you. But he will come and keep you on the track what God had for you. So I'm very happy for you. I'm so glad. My heart is it's 10 times bigger, my heart, because I know he's gonna help you. So thank you for listening. God bless you.